paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is the mother of truth, Baltimore's own magical Negro, your thug unicorn, your gangsta goddess, here on Gangsta Goddess Radio on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello, world. Can you hear me? Like, I feel so distant from the mic. Happy New Year. Welcome back. Oh my goodness, this is Tracie Jiggetts, the mother of truth, your gangster goddess, your thug unicorn, all things magical, your magical Negro. And I am here and I'm so happy to be back. I need y'all to call somebody and then tell them to call somebody and call somebody else and let them know that Gangsta Goddess Radio is in full effect. I am not in the studio alone, so I'm so excited that my first guest for the year, like 2017, is starting off real lovely. Devlon, how are you? What? Don't laugh at me.
Listen,
okay?
All I did is laugh at you, Tracie Jiggetts.
And I take that as a compliment coming from you. I take it as a compliment. So tell the people your name.
Devlon, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Waddell.
Devlon Waddell, yes. So you are in the studio today because you are someone that I respect.
Oh.
I know that the city respects you. Your work speaks for itself, and I can't wait to let the audience know all of the great things that you are doing. Yes, not only in our city, but you out in Towson, sprinkling Negro magic all over them. Like, here, Towson.
Little Negro magic.
Yes, take a little of this.
Sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle,
Y'all
sprinkle.
will receive it. So I'm excited to get into that. So it's a lot that's been going on between our last show was like December 12th. So we're going to run through a few hot topics. And then I'm going to let you meet Devlon officially, and let you know all of the great things that he's doing. Now you started, I wasn't even going to talk about this, but you brought me Mariah Carey because she's, because her picture is here in the studio. And the good Mariah Carey gave us a New Year's Eve surprise. Was that not okay, as an artist, I come from the school of you keep going.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Not so much.
She said, I'm out.
How about y'all sing it for me? Literally, that's what she said. She said, listen, I'm going to let y'all go ahead and do this. I'm going to cash the check, but y'all can go ahead and work
because y'all can't say I didn't show up. I was here.
On stage.
She said, I'm just going to let the audience sing. And I said, oh my gosh, and her poor backup dancers are trying to lead her. They trying to pick up. The shout out to the backup dancers. Shout out because they carried that show because they kept going. See, they did it. They did what you were supposed to do. But this lady just gave up, and I laughed like I have never laughed before. And I didn't see it on New Year's.
I just saw it like yesterday.
Oh, well, see, it's fresh for you, so you can,
Listen.
in your mind. And when she stood beside that champagne bottle and just looked out over the crowd, I said, oh, somebody throw her a lifeline or something. Is somebody backstage that can come out and share this moment with
They
her?
just
I
let
was
it happen.
scared.
They were probably making bets. Like, how long is she going to stand out there looking stupid? Stop.
I can't imagine the producers of the show, just everybody backstage, like, what the hell? So yes, as an artist, I definitely come from the school of you just keep going. And Mariah, you gave up in your shiny bodysuit,
She looked
skin
good in a
tone
bodysuit to be like
number.
80 though, right?
Huh?
She looked good to be like 80, right?
Yeah, is she 80?
I don't know.
I didn't know she was 80. I didn't. That's news to me.
She
Mariah,
ain't 12.
you can call in at any time and let us know how old you are, because I don't think you're 80. But I know you've seen some years, because I remember you when I was young. So we just going to send prayers and blessings from some Gangsta Goddess vibes over to Mariah. A moment of silence. Because that show was death, honey. So, okay, so we bring it on back. I was actually talking to Devlon outside, and we were talking about the recent kidnapping that happened. So it goes a little something like this. There are 4 people from Chicago between the ages of 18 and 24. And they kidnapped, I have no idea how they got him in the space, but they kidnapped what they are calling a special needs white person. I can't look at you. And this is not funny. Why am I laughing? They kidnapped him and they tortured him and they put it on Facebook Live.
See, that's where the story went left for me.
Go ahead.
On what
talk to
planet does it make sense? You said, I'm going to break the law. I'm going to commit a felony. Right? I'm going to go real hard on this little white boy. And I'm going to go live.
They went live.
So the world can see it.
They went hard, and they put his head in the toilet, and they just treated him terrible. He lived, and they captured all 4 of them.
You think?
Very quickly. Yes, very quickly.
They knew where they were.
But of course, the
They
good
knew what
white
they looked
people.
like.
Yes, they knew all
they
of
recognized
that,
them
and
immediately.
they were not easy on the eyes at all. But you know, it takes a lot to pull off a good mugshot. It takes a lot, but they caught them and charged them with the hate crime. So I had so many people on social media, especially my old phase, and they were out there and, oh, this is terrible, and oh my goodness, but literally they were caught and charged. The turnaround was so quick.
Why was it a hate crime?
Because he was white. And they on the video, they had him saying things like, they made him say fuck Trump, and he was saying things about, to hell with the white people. And I can't, why am I smiling? Okay. So they took this special needs young man and they really did some terrible things to him. And the people were in an uproar. And my thing is this. It was terrible on all accounts. You don't kidnap people and torture them. Right. You don't. Right. That's not something you do. And I can understand why they charged it as a hate crime. I don't understand why the people are treating this like, well, first it was connected. They tried to connect it to the Black Lives Matter. And they came out like, no, that's not us. That's not our platform. But the other side of it was people die at the hands of whether it be racist, white officers, whoever, every day. And we have to wait for years and years, and a conviction, even a charge, is never reached. The turnaround time for these 4 people, and yes, they were so stupid to put it on the good Facebook. But my thing is, they were caught and justice will be served. And that is not normally the case if it's the other way around.
Well, I think it's a matter of where value is, obviously. It ain't with us. And how we define justice, because if we have no value, obviously we don't deserve justice. So, like, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. One, that you would kidnap somebody and torture them. Not cool. But Facebook, though.
Yeah, they Facebook Live that thing. So I have to imagine they were on something. They were young people, and I'm going to show you a picture, and anybody that has Google in front of them. You can go and.
So they probably met him in school because they look special needs.
You know what? I won't.
I'm just saying.
So
Judge
and
not.
no, the look that they're
Glass
giving is
houses.
definitely not one of sanity. I will say that. When I look at all four of the pictures of
Something
the four
ain't right.
people,
Ain't right. That ain't right.
that ain't right. So they are. I mean, they're charged, and they're charged with a hate crime, and it was terrible. But the fact that people try to link it and throw it all in this one, but we know if the tables were turned.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And if four white people had kidnapped a black child, I mean, the police just shot at a mentally special needs person, where the doctor that was trying to help him had his hands up and he was shot. And it happens every day. So I say that justice is being served, at least the justice that we all look for when things like this happen. Hey, charge them. Pick them up, arrest them.
Right.
And these people are behind bars, so I believe that's what you want in a case
Right.
like this. And the man, he lived. He lived. I'm sure he's completely traumatized, and things will never be the same. But he did live. So it is just crazy how that they say you don't see black and white, but it is so clear so often. It is so in your face. A lot of people say, "Well,
Because
it's not about color."
that's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
They don't mean it.
They don't mean
It's,
it.
it's just
I
something
agree
to say.
with that.
It's just something to say. Oh, this will sound good. This won't cause no free. I don't see color. You
Well,
see
what
my
do you
face,
see?
right?
What do you see? So it is just a very interesting case, and I look forward to following and I don't even have to follow. I know they're going to be convicted.
Right.
I know that. And the fact that they got the hate crime status going on, I already know that it's going to go all the way through. So this one's for you, white folks. You won. You can take, yes, one gold star for white peoples because you did that. So we're moving on. Kim Burrell. I have to spend at least 2 minutes talking about this because I have something to say about this lady and I've been holding it in for so long. Look here, world. If you have not seen the footage of Miss Kim Burrell going all the way in on the gays for 2017, someone in her church recorded live again. Facebook Live is just, it's getting people in trouble. I've never been live myself. Matter of fact, I'm going to go live today. But Facebook Live, they put the recording up, and she's literally on the pulpit, and she's like, if you're a man and you're taking penis in your face, and if you're a woman and you're putting your face in bosoms, like she got very,
Bosoms.
yes, she got very,
If you're a woman putting your face in bosoms, you dealing with the wrong women. Bosoms.
she was, and that was,
People's grandmas got
well,
bosoms.
that's the thing. So Miss Kim just came through, and I don't think she literally said to kill them, but she said that is going to die in 2017, and of course you're going to hell, and it can't be a part of the church, and so forth and so on.
So no more choir. She ain't making no more records.
Obviously not. Obviously not. And we say that, and it's very interesting because I believe people, like the whole gay, homosexual, for some reason it's very interesting to me because a lot of people act like it's new.
Right. That's the ridiculous thing about it. And they act like they haven't been directly affected. Like
Exactly.
they haven't grown up with gay folk and they family at their dinner table. Oh, you know he like little boys, but we don't talk about it.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
And it happens, and it's right there. And you get in the church, and all of a sudden, it's this, like it's been happening since the beginning of time. Understand that. And I get angry because I do believe that for some people it is a choice. I believe some people choose, but I also believe that there is a core of people where you cannot choose who you're attracted to. I don't make myself attracted to. If I like it, if it gets me excited, then apparently it's in me.
Right.
Period. So whether I choose to suppress it and not move on with it, that's my choice. But what excites me is what excites me.
I think for me, and I actually had the best conversation with my little one about non-gender conformity. She's 11. And she said the term, and I'm like, wait, what that mean?
What is, like, back it up.
And she knew what it meant. So
Well, tell us what it means. What does it mean?
basically there's this, and I'm going to get it wrong, so don't be offended. I'm still learning. But there's this spectrum of gender identity, and people fall in different places. That's the easiest way for me to explain it.
Okay.
So there was some kid, maybe in a band or something, that doesn't identify as either man or woman. So for the sake of conversation, I'm like, that's not possible. And I just kept pushing him. She was like, that's fine. You can have your own opinion. And I'm like, what about the religious folks who believe it's a sin? She's like, that's fine. They're free to have their opinion. And in my mind, I'm like, that's great, because it's none of our business. But, like, I pushed her, and she stood firm. So for me, the important thing is that she, and people I deal with, understand that ultimately that's not my life to live. Like, and who the hell would choose to go through what a gay person has to go through on a daily basis?
That's so true.
Listen, what I like to believe if somebody could avoid some of that persecution, they might.
They would.
And if they can't, chances are they might be sincere in their situation.
Exactly.
So who am I?
And it is just, who am I is definitely how I feel. But also, how did we choose? How did this become the banner of all sins? Like,
Right. There's not supposed to be a degree of sin. So when I lie about how sexy I am, I'm supposed to be going to the same hell that the adulterers.
you
know
are
what I mean?
lying. You are going to
And
hell.
is gayness even in the top 10? Because there's like a top 10 list, right?
Yeah, that's the top 10 sin list.
Top 10
Yes,
list.
there
Is that even in the top 10? So how you don't even make it to the top 10, but all of a sudden that's the worst thing smoking? It doesn't even make sense.
That's it. And maybe because it is such a hot topic, and maybe because, and when I say there is nothing new about it, it's not new because it's been happening for so long, but I think now more people are open. So it scares people, because it was one thing when you stayed in the closet and that's Aunt so-and-so and that's just her friend.
But the fear is in that person's own comfort in his or her sexuality. So Kim was probably looking at some bosoms on the third row, and she say, Lord Jesus,
Rebuke
Lord
it.
Jesus, I rebuke these bosoms in my mind, and I'ma speak a word.
Because I gotta stop looking at the bosoms. I must stop. So, and that's honestly what I believe. So, and so after this came out, she was supposed to go on Ellen. Ellen canceled her. A show has been canceled, and she was supposed to get an award from the BMI, I believe it is. But
Watch what I do, watch what I do.
they said no.
Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes. Amen.
You know what? I will not receive any of this.
Like, I'm so excited that she is getting shut down. I'm so excited.
Shut it down.
Because the problem really isn't these ridiculous people who get a microphone and just say all sorts of dumb stuff. The problem is the fools in the audience who co-sign on it. I saw a t-shirt on a woman that said, "You can grab my vagina." First, I don't know who would want to grab this woman's vagina.
Oh, it wasn't good packaging.
But the idea that somebody could be so openly and overtly disrespectful to half the population of the world and still be supported in the disrespect. Like, we're not even going to ignore this disrespectful foolishness. We're going to embrace it.
We're going to send money.
What is wrong with your people?
It is something going on in the world. So I am definitely, I don't know if she should lose everything. I mean, I understand the yes, Lord.
Broke.
But you have to recognize that these are sensitive times. Especially when it comes to that. And people who, because that's what society has made it. So everything is, everybody is turning everything gay, and television is trying to turn us all gay. You can't turn anybody gay. I don't believe that that's a power that we have.
Society is a collection of individuals. So, if as an individual I choose not to accept it, it's not a thing for me.
Exactly.
So I'm not a part of your situation.
And I'm going to go over there. So we are, my wonderful engineer, who we are back in the new year, has just given me the lovely 30-second jump off. So what's happening here is when we come back, you're going to hear about the amazingness that is that a word? Amazingness?
It is now.
I know that's right. That is Mr. Devlon. So we're going to hear all about what he's getting into, how you can support him. If you have questions, you can give us a call at 410-702-5657. If you have a word of encouragement, if you want to talk about the hot topics, 410-702-5657. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gangsta Goddess Radio, and we will be right back. We have news.
Listen up, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Are you looking to support Black-owned businesses here in the DMV? Well, look no further. With more than a $1 trillion buying power, it is imperative we support businesses within our community. Check out the DMV Black Business Directory Incorporated at www.dmvblackbusinessdirectory.com. DMV Black business owners interested in our free business listing, contact us at info@dmvbbd.com for details on how to get your business listed. Remember, we must rebuild, we must support, we must unite. Once again, that's www.dmvblackbusinessdirectory.com. Listen up, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Are you looking to support Black-owned businesses here in the DMV? Well, look no further. With more than a $1 trillion buying power, it is imperative we support businesses within our community. Check out the DMV Black Business Directory Incorporated at www.dmvblackbusinessdirectory.com. DMV Black business owners interested in our free business listing, contact us at info@dmvbbd.com for details on how to get your business listed. Remember, we must rebuild, we must support, we must unite. Once again, that's www.dmvblackbusinessdirectory.com.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know you're probably just a little bit nervous.
You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello, world. And we are back. Welcome back to Gangsta Goddess Radio. We had a little break. If you want to call in, 410-702-5657. We are here and all the way live. I am looking at myself. Look at me. I'm crazy, but I am in the studio. Let's get to what's important. What is important is I am in the studio with Devlon Waddell. So what I would like to share is my personal opinion of you, okay? So we met many years ago, many years ago, and then we started working together. We worked together. I'm not even going to say the name of the school. We were at a school in the good Baltimore City, dealing with good Baltimore City children, and I always appreciated the fact that this man was so cut and dry. Like, you give it to people straight, like this is how it is, and that's it. I have seen you be angry and serve people a whole plate of what they were not requesting. I have seen you in the good times and the craziness. I have seen you go to battle. So it has been a very interesting ride. And then to realize, well, damn, this man is an artist. What? Damn, this man got books. Wait, he's writing? Wait, what's going on? Wait, what? Clothes? What? Furniture? So all of these things. So my first question for you, I want to talk about the author side first. So let's take that first. Because I used to read your book, To Truth at Night.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, and it very interesting. Look, so can you just tell us the name of your books first?
So the first one is Syrup Sandwich, A Life of Measured Progression. And that was published when we were working together. Actually, the students basically punked me into publishing. Like I spoke to the English class, and they were like, I was like, I got these stories, and I'm scared to publish, honestly, because I'm real. You know, I'm real with the kids, I'm real with the babies. So after that, they would like walk past my office like, you should publish your book, you punk. Like, calling me all kinds of bitches
Won't
and
they
stuff.
do it? Baltimore City, come through.
So over the summer, I published a book, and then when they came back, I'm like, look what I did over the summer. What you do, you little bastard? Yeah, I kind of did.
That's how he do. That's what I mean. I told y'all it was real.
So the second book is actually, so Them Bratcher Boys is the second book, and that was written and published to sort of honor my family. I got to know my grandfather as an adult when he was sick. I was taking him to radiation and spending time with him. And yesterday was the anniversary of his death.
Wow.
But he and his two brothers grew up in North Carolina. And I have two brothers. And as I got to know them, I noticed a lot of parallels. So I sort of tried to write about that and make that connection with him and other family members. The third book was Note to Self, where I sort of went in on myself. Like, the first two were personal, but like anecdotally personal. Note to Self was me basically telling myself to get my shit together.
And you put it in a book.
So I had been writing for years before I decided to publish, and I realized that it literally saved my life. So the decision to publish was about sharing that experience. So after Note to Self, Slangston Hughes and I co-wrote a book.
Shout out to Slangston.
My man, brilliant,
Nutbag.
I love him. Slangston, Vic. Hey, Vic!
You already know, but...
That's my brother.
He's awesome. He
kinds
really
of
is.
crazy, but like it's fairly hard to impress me. He is one of a few, like, really, like, seriously, that dude. If you can make
where are you?
Yes, so in that book was Writer's Alchemy, and that was just off the like we just sort of did whatever we felt like doing and then published it. And it might be my favorite.
Excellent. So we are on 3 published books.
3.5 if you count Slangston's.
3.5, okay, half, because y'all came together. And that's quite a collaboration. And I don't have that book.
Well,
and you didn't bring me one.
Well, next time you come to the sanctuary.
Okay, it will be there.
And I published like 5 other authors. I don't know if you knew that too.
No, I didn't. Tell us, please.
So before I retired from the literary world, I had a publishing company as well. Sort of born of the idea that submitting to publishers and all was a bunch of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And the level of urban fiction, I'm putting up the air quote marks, air quote, urban fiction was flooding the scene at the time. I'm like, yo, let's offer an alternative from an urban perspective, because, you know.
Black power.
All power to the people.
Yes, he put the fist up, people. So, I had no idea that you published the books yourself. Okay, so let's just start there. So how amazing is that? What the hell are you doing? Like this, I'm, okay, so, you said retired. So does that mean you're not publishing anymore? Like you're out the game? You are...
I've been retired for a couple years now. Like, after November 9th, I was like, I need to contribute to the canon again. But the words didn't come, so... Okay. I feel like there's one more in me where, like, I get on my gay uncle shit. Like, Baldwin's my gay uncle. Like, and Ellison's my biological father. But like, I really want to go in on some, like, this is what it is.
Okay.
Like, James Baldwin, tangent. So I read all his essays and stuff. Started reading the fiction lately. This dude. not only, he said, not only am I going to make you look at race and digest it, I'm going to make you look at sexuality and homosexuality and digest it in all of its normalcy. Like, I was freaked out because all of this stuff that I wasn't privy to was like, okay, oh, that's what it is. They going to jerk each other off? No, okay. All right, let me...
Next page.
Right. Where I would have expected to like, oh, I'm going to put this down. This isn't for me. But no. He said, you going to read this.
Yeah.
And you going to think about it. And you going to have a conversation about it. So.
And that's what James Baldwin and a lot of him, I was introduced to his essays as it relates to education.
Right.
Because and I was just completely blown away by that. Like, that was enough. Like, oh my goodness.
Right.
But the fact that he said he gonna keep going and he's gonna do more. So we are, so James Baldwin, your gay uncle.
My gay.
Whom you love. And that is a great inspiration to have. I mean.
Listen, I can't imagine coming close to having even with one person, the impact that he's had with me. But the idea that he had the courage.
Yes.
To say, this is what I'm finna do. And I dare you, come for me. Because I'm going to eviscerate your ass publicly. With my cigarette in my hand and my leg crossed, batting my eyelashes. I'm going to destroy everything about you. And your mom and them too.
What
he came for throats.
He really did. That is awesome. So how do you decide, like, for all of my listeners, like, I am here and my goal is to inspire. Yes. Right. So you not only, most people would write a book and then they would shop it around to publishers. And you said, well, to hell with that shit. I'm going to publish it myself.
Yes.
That's a very bold move. How do you come to that? And you said that the urban and the way they market it, and we've all seen the books of LaQuisha and the drug dealer's tale and the tale of we've all seen those things. So the fact that you decided that I'm going to step out of that box, number one, is awesome. But then I'm trying to wrap my mind around I'm going to publish it myself.
So I am grossly insecure. So the idea that somebody who I don't know, because like every time I write a story, I finish up like 2:30 in the morning. I wake my wife up, read it to her. Like, you like it? She be like, yeah. I'm like, you just saying that because you love me. But then I would share it with other folks. So I would share it and get feedback. But the idea that somebody's going to sit in the office and decide whether or not my voice deserves to be heard was ridiculous to me.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
And in terms of publishing other people, I was really selective about who I even talked to about it, because I'm clear that I don't want to be judgy about people. But if I think I'm gonna judge you, I'm just not going to engage you.
I'm just going to walk away now.
Right. So I had to have an idea that they wouldn't suck. So if I believed that you had something to contribute and it wouldn't suck, it didn't matter what you wrote. I publish it. So.
Wow. So for someone who's like, I have to get this book, what do they do?
My book?
Yes.
Go to Google.
Go to Google.
Type in Devlon space. E space. W-A. You like I said W.
Yes.
W-A-D-D-E-L-L. Then press enter.
Wow. And prepare yourself.
I'm Googleable,
so don't forget
yo.
the Devlon. Devlon space. E. Space. W-A-D-D-E-L-L. And just open your mind to the madness, to the beautiful mess that is Devlon Waddell. So we have author, self-published. You're a publisher because you're publishing other people's books. So, like, wow. And then we come to now, your latest venture, who you already know you got me. I'm all the way in.
I appreciate you.
Not You Vintage.
Indeed.
Not You Vintage. So tell us where this came from and why it is.
Okay, so I should probably start with, like, purpose.
Purpose.
So in the books, in the teaching, and the nonprofits, and Not You Vintage all feed the same purpose. I have come to know fairly recently that my purpose is to connect with people. And it's a really specific connection. So Not You Vintage came from folk visiting the house, we working on fake podcasts that never came out. But we would always end up talking about image and clothes because retail is my background. And I had fallen in love with thrifting, so like my basement was not quite as boss a version of the current Not You Vintage where all my clothes are out.
Okay.
And there was this one friend who had some body image issues and deals with depression in similar ways that I did. So I would give him stuff. And I gave him this canvas P code that I'm still having giver's remorse about. And at some point I lost another job because I've lost a number. And I was like, well, all right, I'm going to start selling stuff.
Okay.
And then I was on the board of this literary arts organization, Litmore, and Julie was like, well, you can use the closet and have your appointments there. So this closet is about like 3 feet by 3 feet. I merchandised the closet in Hampden, had a store. And about a month later, she was like, well, bring it to the bigger room, and I'll bring my wife's stuff, my mother's stuff, and we'll have a men's shop and a woman's shop. I was like, cool.
Okay.
About a month later, she was like, okay, I just kind of feel like I'm getting in the way. So why don't you take over the woman's brand? We'll put the stuff in the room with the door with the lock on it. I was like, what? Then like a month later, she was like, well, rent's too high. We got to move. But I know these people with this retail space in Towson. I'm like, I ain't going to Towson. I'm staying in this city. I ain't about that. Then I saw the space.
Yeah.
I guess I'm moving to Towson. So it's been about a year and a week since I've been in Towson. And all that happened in 6 months.
A year and a week. The sanctuary, it is not KNOTU Vintage. And if you have not had the pleasure of stopping by, look here. They have a Facebook page, right? Not You Vintage. Go on and get it. I go as often as I can, and I always leave giddy. I always leave like, yes, this is why I live. So because I love a good vintage number. I love a good vintage number. So I have more to say on Not You Vintage. If you have any questions, because this man has just dropped so many jewels. 410-702-5657. We have to take a break because for some reason commercials and shit, they're important to people. So we're going to take a quick break. I am so excited. Like, we have not even scratched the surface. This is Gangsta Goddess Radio. I am your Gangsta Goddess. I am in the studio with Devlon Waddell. And we are going to bring you more. Please stay tuned to Gangsta Goddess Radio on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Hey now, this is your girl Tracie from Gangsta Goddess Radio. If you missed us on Monday from 7 to 8, catch this flashback. Gangsta Goddess Radio, BeExposedRadio.com. And I think about people like, definitely Ellen stands out to me because she is a woman who decided to take a stand and say, hey, I'm gay. She did it on national television, and it changed the course of her career. And at first, it did not seem like it was for the better because she was actually chastised and she was not celebrated. And many people left her. So I appreciate the fact that she was able to go back in the lab and come back out. Now, I will say that the standards are different for my car.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees.
This is the mother of truth, Baltimore's own magical Negro, your thug unicorn, your gangsta goddess, here on Gangsta Goddess Radio on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Gangsta Goddess Radio. You are live with your girl Tracie Jiggetts. I'm in here. I'm waist training. I can't breathe. Send help as soon as you can. I don't know why I put this thing on. But anyway, as we move on, that's for another show. Because I want to get to Devlon, space E, space Waddell. So Devlon, the word on the street, not you vintage. Can you give people where this shop is and what they can expect when they come in?
So, Not You Vintage is 716B York Road, right up the street from Towson Town Center. I think you probably would be more useful in telling them what to expect, but I will say that the three tenets that we rest on is quality goods, uncompromising service, and accessible pricing.
And all of that is true. Let me say that. I receive all of that. Like I said, when I go in, I know, and the personal attention that you can't find anywhere else. Right. So I know that I could even call and say, I have to go such and such place. Do you have anything? Or I can come by and you have laid out selections already. So if you call ahead of time, you drop your sizes, you can get your life because they will pull things. They will pull different looks, things that you never even thought of trying, but you will try it and be like, oh my goodness. But it is a beautiful space. It is a beautiful atmosphere. And I love it. And I am encouraging you all. Vintage is real, and to be able to, and y'all know I'm a character anyway, so to be able to transform into all of these different things where he will pick this out and I'll be like, but then I'll put it on and be like, well, damn. You was right. And then you have accessories. Yes, it doesn't just stop at the clothes. You have the shoes, you have the you support other local artists in there. So there's jewelry, handmade pieces. We didn't even get to the leathers, the luggage pieces, the hats. Like, oh my goodness, it is a festival for the eyes.
I did my first piece of full-on upholstery. Well, I'm in process. I'm finishing up my first piece of full-on upholstery, so I'm excited about that.
And I didn't even get to that because the furniture has now popped off.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look here, people. You have a creative feeling in your being. There is something that you want to do. This man is the perfect example of just do it, because you have taught me if you build it, they will come.
That's what I'm believing. I'm believing.
But I see it, and it's hard when you're in that space, when you're working in the trenches. It's hard to see it. So sometimes you do have to listen to people on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And I see it. And when I saw the first piece of furniture, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get my money up. That is my first thought, because these pieces are beautiful. So if you can go to the Facebook page, Not You Vintage, if you can visit the shop, give them the address again.
716B York Road, 21204. And we are open Saturdays from 12 to 4, Sundays 11 to 3, otherwise by appointment.
So you call, you get yourself an appointment. You go to the Facebook page, you get yourself an appointment. You can follow this man on Facebook. Yes.
Yes.
Devlon.
Space
Waddell. Waddell. Because this is greatness. And I just want to touch on this because we talk about, and we're going to have you back because I didn't even scratch the surface of all the things that I have to say. But we were just talking about Do More.
Yes.
And tell the people what you just told me.
Oh, so Do More is this awesome program, young folk changing the world through poetry.
Poetry, yes.
I am fortunate enough to have been co-founder of that organization. So
that is like, woo! So I love the work you do. I'm so thankful for you coming on and just letting my listeners know what is out there. And again, my mission is to inspire. My mission is for you to say, hey, I might be able to try that. That person is doing it. I have that in me. Because we all make out when everybody walks in their light. We all, that walking in your purpose thing is crazy. And that's what I try to do every day when I come in here. So look here, this is the waist training Tracie Jiggetts. We are here all the way live. Do I have my music? Is my music ready to go? So we always end out with our official music of the Gangsta Goddess radio show is the great Courtney Dow, because Courtney Dow is everything. And if you don't know about Courtney Dow, then you need to Google her. But her song is On the Rise, and you're going to hear that coming in a moment. So shout out to Courtney Dow. We love you always, and I can't wait to have you on the show. But Devlon, this has been an honor. So you have to come back because there's so much more to say. But look for the books, Devlon Waddell. Go to the shop, Not You Vintage. Get you some pieces. I have to have a Gangsta Goddess event. We talked about it before. And in 2017, I'm ready because I'm getting my shit together. That's all there is to it. I'm getting my shit together. So, shout out to all the people who called in and wrote letters for the Gangsta Goddess Letters of Love campaign, where I've asked people from the community to write letters to my students. Anonymous letters, just letting them know that there are other people rooting for you that you don't even know. Like, you can do this. So the campaign is Letters of Love. If you're interested, hit us on Facebook, Gangsta Goddess Radio. People, it has been a pleasure. Oh my God. This is Tracie Jiggetts. This is Gangsta Goddess Radio on BeExposedRadio.com. Yes, Courtney.
Listen up, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Are you looking to support black-owned businesses here in the DMV? Well, look no further. With more than a $1 trillion buying power,